today's recipe is Omelette Bites with a fruit smoothie. Now I don't have all my ingredients for both of these recipes, so I'm not going to do the fruit smoothie until this afternoon, but this morning I'm going to do the Omelette Bites. Now for this recipe you need 4 eggs, 40 ml of milk, which I've already measured out, 1/4 of a diced capsicum. Now it does say tomato, I don't have a tomato, so I'm going to add red capsicum instead. And I don't have a shallot, so I'm going to use some ordinary onion just for that bite and that flavour. 1 mushroom, 2 teaspoons of grated cheese, and salt. And I've actually got Himalayan pink rock salt with whole black pepper, because I like pepper and things as well. And what I also thought I'd add is 1 chilli. So bear with me please while I chop some of these. This recipe is essentially put all the wet ingredients into the bowl and then all your vegetables. I'm also going to add some thyme for flavour. So the first thing I'm going to do is dice my capsicum. Oh, actually, the first thing I'm going to do, and I've already done it before I actually switched on the video, was to preheat the oven. And the oven temperature is 180. Now, the smaller you chop these things, the better your end result will be. Might have a bit much capsicum here, but it doesn't matter. It'll all just add to the flavour. Now notice how I'm chopping, by keeping my fingers away from the blade and just keeping my hand. Please do this quite slowly until you get quite proficient, and then you can build up the speed. Now they can all go together, because all those things, whoops, missed a bit of capsicum, they all go in at the same time. Now remember how we chop an onion? So I'm actually going to go through all the half of the onion, because I'm going to use it for other recipes. I like economy of effort, as you know. That's probably about enough onion, cut very fine. And just popping all that aside onto my mushroom, which is very easy to chop, very soft. Just mind your fingers. And then, of course, the chilli. Now that's not in the recipe, as I said, but you know I like a little bit of chilli in some things that I do. So just making sure that I don't want any of the seeds in there, because as much as I love chilli, the seeds are the things that make it super hot. So I'll try and remove the seeds. Remember, you need a scrap bowl on your bench if you don't have a bin handy. And then with the chilli again, chop that quite small. Ooh, found a lot more seeds in there. Let's not put them in. You can get 1 or 2 seeds in, it won't make much difference. But just if you're feeding people who may have chilli allergies, be aware of that. You certainly don't want to give anybody any sort of anaphylactic reaction to your Omelette Bites. Okay, and I'm just going to put my thyme in there, taking the bits of thyme off the stalks. Anything you've got in the garden you can add to this recipe. Basil would go really nice, oregano, any of those herbs. Now that beep you heard means that my oven has come up to temperature. So I've got all my dry ingredients and my vegetables chopped. I'm now putting my eggs. And if anybody's got fresh eggs, oh wow, if you've got any chickens. My next door neighbour has chickens. He says they're very expensive. He calls them his Gucci chickens because they get the best of food. So, okay. And into the eggs go the milk. at this stage, I'm going to put in the salt and pepper before I've actually mixed anything. Okay, got a bit of salt and pepper, give that a bit of flavour. And stir my yolks. And then whisk the egg yolks and milk together. Got my sink full of washing up water, ready to put, you just whisk the water, your whisk ends up clean. Okay, oops, sorry, I do have a bit of hair in front of my face. So into that goes all our vegetables. Oops, bit of onion there, that's a bit big. You don't want that in there. Any bit of big mushroom is fine, but onion not. So I think I've got all the ingredients in there now. And then you just mix that until it's combined. A spoon, mix it all up. I might need to use the same spoon to put it into my tray. You see, I've got a tray here, muffin tray, airy muffin tray. I'm going to do quite large ones, so they'll take a bit longer to cook, and they have removable bottoms, which makes it a lot easier. Keep the bottoms in a little Ziploc bag with the tray. Oh, excuse me. Oil spray I'm using. I don't have any muffin cases, but you can use muffin cases. And with the spray, make sure you spray it over the sink, because it makes things really quite slippy, especially the floor. So either outside, you can do this. Make sure you do the sides, and then just pop your ingredients. Hopefully that won't spill through. I'm making these quite large. I might only get 4 out of these. Make sure with each spoonful that you put in that you're getting all the vegetables in there. And try and get obviously an equal amount into each one. I'm not sure, rather than do another one, I think I'm just going to top up the 4 that I've got there with what I've got left. I'm not going to waste any ingredients. I'll make sure I get my hand in there. You can see I've got gloves on. And another good reason for having the washing up water there. And then those get popped into the oven at 180 degrees. Mine might take a bit longer, as I said, because they're a bit more depth. And it says for 10 to 15 minutes. So while that's in the oven, you would then make the smoothie. But I'm going to stop this video here and come back with the smoothie later. The second part of the recipe, before I get on to the second part, I must tell you, I forgot to put the cheese into the omelette bites. Don't forget to add your cheese when you're mixing your vegetables. So as soon as I stopped the video, I remembered, because the cheese was still sitting on the bench. You probably saw that from watching the video. So I popped the cheese into the mixture as it was still, it wasn't cooking yet. I'd just put it in the oven. So I just took a divided the cheese into 4 and mixed it in with a little teaspoon. So I didn't have to take everything out again, I just mixed in the teaspoon. And be careful when you're using those muffin trays with the removable bottoms. What I should have remembered too is because it's liquid, it will come out the bottom. So try not to use that one. I remember that from doing it before. Anyway, the second part is the fruit smoothie. Now the recipe there says 2 cups of milk. I'm only going to use 1 cup of milk because I'm only here myself today, and I will drink that. And 1 teaspoon of honey. It says 2 ripe bananas. I'm going to use blueberries and raspberries rather than bananas. And it does say students to bring additional ingredients to add to the recipe, so you can add whatever you want. Today I'm going to add some thick and creamy rhubarb and vanilla yogurt. So into my milk mixture, I'm going to put my just a big tablespoon of yogurt, and also I'm going to add my berries, raspberries and blueberries into there and measure out. I'm going to measure out 1 teaspoon on the tablespoon. Oops, I had honey earlier on, so it still should be a little bit runny from that. It's too difficult to get honey out. If it is difficult, pop it in the microwave just for a few seconds and thin it down. So into there, oh, mussels. 1 teaspoon of honey, making sure you wipe around your honey before you put it away. And then all your ingredients essentially get put into a blender or a stick blender. If you have one, you can use that in any container. I happen to have this blender here. So I'm going to put all my ingredients into the blender. And this is the best bit about wearing gloves, is you can just do that and get all your ingredients out. Okay, and because I've got my dishwasher still in there, give my hands a bit of a rinse, cleaning as I go, remembering milk and yogurt is perishable, so that will have to go back straight into the fridge. Now that beep 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 might be my omelette bites ready, so let's have a check of those while we're here. Oops. And there they are. They are ready. And as I said before, it did leak. Some of it leaked. So I'll leave that there and clean that up later. Always make sure you have a tray underneath any pan that you put into the oven. Easier to clean a tray than it is to clean an oven. Okay, making sure my top is on properly. And the liquidizer, this will be a bit noisy, so bear with me. I'm just pulsing it to get it started, and then I put it on the fast speed. That should be enough for my smoothie. Maybe you can put some ice cream in that as well. That'll make it really nice and cold. There we go. Oh, yum. Now, bearing in mind that my omelette bites are still very hot because they've just come out the oven. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I do this first. Hopefully they'll come out. This is the best part about using the removable bottoms on the tray. And they come off quite easy. And using a fish slice, obviously, choose your best one. Turn it round, whoa, right way. That's just the cheese on there. That's so it's a bit runny. And of course, like anything, Stage 5, you have to garnish, and because I used thyme in my actual recipe, I'm going to use a little bit of thyme to garnish. Not much, just that little bit.